Hello and welcome to the 1 to 5 podcast under the Genesis Science Initiative, where we focus on practical first aid education and clear health knowledge for everyday life. My name is Hudu Fadilia Lilian Dede, and this podcast is designed for parents, students, teachers, drivers, and anyone who's supposed to know everything about first aid. So, yes, emergency happen without warning. So our actions must also be in the first few minutes to often determine the outcome of an emergency. This podcast is for educational purposes only and does not replace professional medical training. Today we are beginning with a fundamental topic: what is first aid and why should everyone learn it? I am joined by a medical student and a certified trained first aider who has practical experience responding to emergency situations. Thank you for joining us today. Mr. George, could you briefly introduce yourself and share your training background with our listeners?
Thank you for the invite and giving me this opportunity. As you said, my name is George and I'm a medical student in UDS and also a first degree holder in BSc Physician Assistantship. And I'm also the founder of RapidRescue Initiative, where we also do train students and the general public with first aid and basic emergency response systems. Yeah, basically that's what I do, or that's what I'm doing now.
Good. It's so much of a pleasure to have you here. Yeah, so today we are beginning with our very first podcast episode. It's all about first aid. So what is first aid in the first place?
First aid. So first aid, as we say, is first and then aid, which is basically a care. If someone undergoes an injury or someone undergoes a sudden illness, the first encounter, the first action, and whatever that someone does in the first few minutes is basically what first aid encompasses. So what is the care? What is the action, or what are the actions that you do or provide to someone who is seriously ill, minor injuries, anything, within the first few minutes before the person is transported or before a healthcare professional or professional needs arise. So basically that's what first aid is. What can you do? What do you do? What do you have to do for someone who is injured, for someone who needs or suddenly ill or anything? What can you do before a professional help arrives? That's basically what first aid is. And it does not mean that you are now replacing the duty of a doctor or a duty of a healthcare practitioner. Yeah, that's what I can say about first aid.
Superb. So if let's say perhaps I'm sweeping and it happened that I have one of the broomsticks just drive through my palm or one of my fingers, that also need first aid from the definition you gave.
Yes, that also needs first aid. It includes the very basic or the very minor situations, health situation, to the bigger thing. So let's say even an accident, you meet a motor vehicle accident. What can you do to help? What shouldn't you do? And to the smallest thing, which is what you said, you have a broom, brick, or something with a small blood oozing out. You should also be able to do something. So yes, it includes minor to major situations.
Okay, thank you so much. Why is first aid knowledge essential for everyone? Isn't it supposed to just be for students or something?
Exactly.
Why should everyone be engaged in first aid?
So we believe that emergency situations can happen anywhere, not even near a hospital. That's what we believe in. And it is the duty of the community to know how to do certain things, because there are some communities even in Ghana or the outskirts of certain countries where there are no hospitals. And since emergency situations can occur anywhere, we need to know some basic first aid practices or actions. And also, the second most important point is that when there's an emergency situation that requires emergency professional help or even first aid, people do things they are not supposed to do. That is also very important. The example, like a snake bite, people suck the wound, people cut the wound, people do things they are not supposed to do. So first aid practices are not just there to help you know what you should do. It also helps you know what you shouldn't do. The beliefs, the past beliefs, the misconceptions. So yes, the basic answer to your question is emergency situations can occur anywhere and at any time. And at most times, there is no healthcare professional, or there are no healthcare professional like a nurse, a doctor, or a paramedic to help. So you can do something within the first few minutes while professional help is on its way.
Okay. True. So, from your perspective, what do you think the goals and principles of first aid are?
The goals and principles. The goals and principles of first aid are a lot. One is to preserve life. And when we say preservation of life, example, let's use, there's something called, let me just be simple, like the snake bite. If a snake bites you, and then you are not being given a first aid, it can lead to certain complications that can affect your life in so many ways. So we try to provide first aid so that we can preserve the life of the person. If first aid is provided, it can help reduce the consequences of whatever that is happening. It also includes prevent deterioration. We are trying to, it's the same thing, and then promote recovery, because we believe that, example, someone who is unconscious, someone who is in cardiac arrest, someone who needs cardiopulmonary resuscitation, the person will need recovery. If you don't do certain things like providing a CPR within some minutes before the person is transported to the hospital, before anything happens, the person can die, and a whole lot. So first aid helps. We are just trying to make sure we promote early recovery, prevent deterioration, and then preserve the lives of people. Because with a snake bite, you can lose, if a snake bites your hand, you can lose that whole hand if first aid is not provided. Yeah, so we want to ensure safety, and then we call for help early. That's very important. When it comes to first aid, your first important thing is to call for help. So the goal, another important goal of first aid is to call for help, because most of these emergency situations may need a professional help. You are just trying to prevent deterioration, prevent complications. So that's what I can say about that.
True. Okay, so I have an example of this scenario. Let's say a mom has a girl of around a year and a half, and then she has a power zone around her, and the infant happened to take it and then drank it. Then immediately you see people running with palm oil and all those stuff. That's I learned that there is some kind of misconception around that one, and I know there is a particular first aid for that. do you think that it's one of the scenarios that is misinterpreted, like people use palm?
Exactly. So that's a very good example. And as we start this podcast, this is just the introduction, and we would have subsequent podcasts where we'll talk about individual first aid tips to certain conditions. So yeah, this is these are part of the misconceptions. These are part, and we would look into that and provide a science and a medicine behind why you should do or you shouldn't do that in those situations.
So please, can you give us any common myths and some few corrections? Or we should be looking at that at the subsequent.
Oh, I can mention few examples.
Podcast episode.
Yeah, I can mention few examples. So as part of Rapid Rescue Initiative, we started with seizures. And as part of seizures, we were able to correct a misconception that if someone is having a seizure, you put something in the mouth because they think the person will bite their tongue and all that. So you put your hand, like that, yeah. Yes, you put a fork, you put anything in the mouth to prevent. That is a misconception. They believe that seizures are associated with witchcraft and all that because of how it presents. And as you said, drinking palm oil in certain poisonous situations, drinking certain corrosives and all that, and even snake bite, sucking the wound, tying the site of the bite and all that. There are a lot of misconceptions. When someone faints, you pour water on them and all that. So we'll look at that later. Even burns. People say if you are having a burn, you put toothpaste and all that on it. We can try to correct that in our subsequent podcast.
Yes. Okay. Wow. Thank you so much. This has been so informative. I'm not going to lie. So, all right. Thank you, our guests, for sharing such practical insights and helping us understand the importance of staying safety, early response, and avoiding some common misconceptions. So in our next episode, we'll focus specifically on bleeding and wound care, if I'm right. And then possibly we'll be learning some foundational things to do like CPR. Yes, they are some of the most basic and most essential steps for first aid. And in our subsequent podcast episode, we'll be doing more of this. So the main reason why this podcast is in progress is to give people the necessary skills and the necessary knowledge to perform first aid before professional medical help arrives. So please stick with us as we continue our podcast series. We'll be sharing this podcast series on our various social media platforms, so please stay connected. Thank you so much, Mr. George.
Thank you.
You will continue to be our guest. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We pray that God will continue to replenish any time you've lost. And we know that this is going to be of a very much great help to our listeners.
Okay.
A lot of salutes. Thank you.
Same to you. Thank you for the invite. Bye-bye.